All right, welcome back to what will most likely be the final episode of DevPlays, Force Gaiden. Which YouTube, whenever I upload a video for, YouTube thinks I'm trying to talk about Shining Force Gaiden.
That is correct.
Which, while I have played the Shining Force series, I've actually never played Shining Force Gaiden, which I believe is a Game Gear game. I mean, I like Shining Force. Basically, the name was originally going to be, if I remember correctly, it was Force Gaiden X Definitive Edition Gold S : The New Challengers. I was just trying to throw as many stupid game suffixes, cliches, suffixes, whatever you want to call it, into one name, because I thought that'd be kind of funny. But then it became too much to say at one time, and I always forget the order of everything, so I just shortened it to the first three, which was Force Gaiden. Which Gaiden means side story. So I guess if I ever do a sequel, it has to be the main story, I guess. But I found out about that. I thought about that more and more after the fact. But I think it has a nice ring to it. But this, I want to. You already saw it, but this is Sierra. This was one of your partners that went missing that you were talking. That the main character Alistair was talking about in the beginning of the game. And he is. If the ship looks a little familiar, if you've seen any of my other previous episodes, he was. Yeah. He's the main character of Shell.
That ship.
So
Sierra?
that all kind of ties into
Sierra, I've been searching for you.
a previous game, which I kind of keep
Sierra,
uh,
what the hell is going on?
Kevin Smithian level of a quote-unquote extended universe, although that's not what I was thinking. I just like having references to other games. I like the idea of having works of media kind of take place in the same universe, even though they're not technically sequels. Which is something I tried to do back when I was in film school. I had ideas for different movies where you'd see background characters and they'd be nothing, but then you would, if you go to another movie, those background characters that you wouldn't even notice, really, would be the main characters of the next movie. And you would kind of see some scenes, it wouldn't be very apparent, but like, let's say, one of them was about two guys, it was a road trip movie where two guys are trying to, one's trying to gain the love of an ex who is getting married, and he wants to stop it, and he's ultimately not successful because that actually doesn't work, even though it works in some movies. I need to concentrate for a bit. But you would see like a homeless man in the background. And I had another movie where a homeless man was the main character. Now that'd be kind of cool if you saw like in another movie where the homeless man was the main character, you would he would have a conversation. You see the characters from the other movie in the background, just like you would from the homeless guy, but it's the same exact scene technically, just from the other side of the street, essentially. But back to the game. So now, I guess we've already passed spoiler alert territory. The guy who hired you is actually working for Cranacube. Cranacube was trying to get rid of their generals. And the only way to really do that was to trick a member of Neoforce. Is that broken or is it just not showing right? Also, one thing I want to do with this series is I'm also compiling notes of things that need to be fixed, because there are a couple things that kind of got past me. In the testing phase. So that's one. I hope it's just not showing correctly, which is very possible. I had a problem with that early on. Okay. I had a problem with that early on, where sometimes the health bar decided it didn't want to show exactly what was being done. So even though damage was being done and it was being calculated, it wasn't actually showing up. Just quit out of there. Interesting. Alright, so when we come back, we'll go back to this boss.
See you soon, Alistair.
Alright, welcome back. So that's on my notes to fix for version 1.2. Which I guess I should, I'm going to have that done pretty soon. Because there are a couple things I'm trying to kind of bug fix and things that kind of slip through. So I'm really hoping this is actually doing damage. Hopefully we'll see soon. Because it's not showing it. Oh, there it is. I guess it was just set to a different value. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be a definite thing on my list of bug fixes. One thing I'm also going to do is slow down his fire rate, because that is... I don't want to make him hard, but that's way too fast. Anyway, so that's the final boss. It will be... Let's see, that'll definitely be fixed, though. Oh, this is, yeah... where his arms kind of twist in weird ways. But I know I want to have his eyes move. Even though it's a little kind of wobbly, but it's not too bad. I want to kind of add that kind of stress of he's trying to escape before the self-destruct sequence goes out. And this is where you learn that he was actually betrayed and why he was betrayed. Basically, because Zalastair is a skilled pilot, he was hired to take out all the generals of the Siege of Seven, or the Seven Siege. I don't know which one I named it. So, try to leave it on a cliffhanger, but he's the only one that can actually destroy them, which helps them out. And then I wanted to leave the ending on kind of an ambiguous note, so you don't know if he gets out or not. If I end up making a sequel, I don't know if I'll answer it then. If I don't make a sequel, then you know what happened. But if you like what you see, definitely give it a buy. Version 1.2 should be out hopefully soon. As the time of this recording, it's probably going to go ahead. It's probably going to be out by that point. So yeah, hopefully you like what you see. This is the first game I ever felt confident enough charging for. It's on itch.io or itch.io. I don't know how you pronounce that. itch.io/Jack7Games. It'll be on the main page there. And you can also buy it from jack7games.com, which we have live now. But yeah, this was a good chunk of my life that went into this. And I'm still kind of doing some bug fixes here and there. Because... unfortunately, because it went on a little bit longer, the development went on a little bit longer than I initially had intended. There are some things that kind of fell through the cracks, and something I'm trying to improve on. Definitely, always trying to improve on anything like that. But yeah, definitely music by Spectre. So Spectre is the band I was talking about earlier. It's really two guys. It's an old friend of mine, Brian Connolly, and his friend Linus Abrahamson. They really helped me out on getting a lot of not only variety in the music, because I feel sometimes if I'm working on a lot of music in succession, sometimes it tends to go it tends to kind of be reminiscent of other soundtracks, and I tend to repeat myself, which I try not to do. So they definitely helped me out. Not only did they take away some of the stress of making more music, but definitely they added some variety. And yes, if you are watching this, or if you have played the game, bought the game, got it on sale. I don't know if the next sale will be up by the time this is out, but thank you definitely. I'd like to say thank you to Games Plus James, Pixelness Studios, which a lot of this was based on. If you're trying to learn when you're first starting out, trying to learn a lot of Unity and C#, Pixelness is very easy to follow. And Jimmy Vegas helped out with a couple things too. He's very easy to follow as well. Thanks to Toast Hatter, who's always kind of helped me out, and I've been working on stuff for him as well. Definitely thanks to anyone who has ever played this, or anyone who is watching this, or anyone who's given me any kind of support. If I've missed you, I am sorry. But yeah, anyone who's supported me in any way, anyone who's kind of stood by me. Computer, is the AI sync complete?
Yes, Commander.
Initiate program Nero Alpha.
Greetings, Commander.
Nero, did the droids finish scanning the building?
85% complete. No sign yet of a body or a ship.
What is the probability of him surviving?
The odds of him surviving are 3,720 to 1.
Ensure that the droids do a thorough scan of the area.
Affirmative, Commander Balfour.
Dun dun dun. No, I was trying to get kind of a. I used to love the Metal Gear series, so that ending is kind of reminiscent of how a lot of Metal Gear games would have a conversation after the credits. But no. Thank you. Going back to my original point, this project took a good chunk of time to finish, from beginning to end. And trying not to get burnt out on it was a really hard thing to do, and get through it, because there'd be points where it's like I didn't want to work on it because there was a lot to do, and I was staring at the same, levels over and over again, the same bosses over and over again. And definitely with the support of a lot of family, my brother, my sister, who also, I didn't mention this before. I should have mentioned it before. In the list of things that kind of happened during the development of this, in between, not trying not to be burnt out and getting a promotion at work and getting more responsibility, and having my, child, and that took up a good part. My sister also had gotten breast cancer, or we found out that she had breast cancer, and that was a really scary time, and so that took up some of my time from this as well. So, and she's good now. She's in remission. Everything is fine. She had to do chemo, which is also really, really scary. But that's also why any proceeds from this game, from here until the end of time, if it ever makes any more money than it already has, from here until until I pass or until someone else takes over, a portion of the proceeds go to the Save the Tatas Foundation, which raises awareness and raises money for research into breast cancer. And it's definitely something that's kind of been on my mind now since my sister had gotten it. But yeah, and then thank you. My wife has put up with me working on this between my 40-hour-a-week job. Sometimes she's doing a lot of the tough stuff when it comes to our daughter, Caitlin, and she's helped out so much, and I know it's been stressful for her, and it's just, I was able to make a thing, and it was a complete, more or less complete thing, and put it online, and I've actually felt confident enough to sell it, and it's been an interesting ride. And I don't know how many of you are actually still watching this or not, but if you are, thank you. I'm just rambling now. But that'll be the end of, I guess I'm going to call it DevPlays. I have no idea if that's going to stick or if that's going to be anything that I can, I might use as a title. We'll see. But thank you very much for watching. This has been a crazy 2 years. But I'm looking at some new projects coming up, and we'll see how those turn out. And as much time as this took and as much stress as there was, I'm ready to keep making more. So hopefully, if you've played this, if you bought it, thank you. And if you liked it, don't worry, more is coming. Not necessarily no more Neo Force Gaiden, although, like I said, there might be some things I want to do with that as a sequel. We'll see. But if you like what you see, definitely hit that like button. Definitely subscribe. There's more coming down the line. And I just want to make more games. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you.